but I got a good one today. I'm gonna be breaking down these two nice trades that I took that made me around $3,000, a little less than that. Took another little trade, but the bulk of this was two nice trades I took in the overnight session. I'm on New York time, so I took these in, the overnight session, the Asian session, PM session, not New York Stock Exchange hours. I'm gonna be breaking down these trades. I took one on NQ and one on gold. Like I said, two trades made up the bulk of my profits, and then I made another extra couple hundred on a little something else. But I'm going to be breaking down the big trades for you. All right, so first I'm going to go with gold. Okay, so we'll rewind here. Okay, so this, what is this? Yeah, okay. Go right there. So on gold, I made about $1,600 on this gold trade. I posted on my Twitter there. You see the balance. Locked myself out because didn't even want to wake up in New York session and trade. And potentially, yeah, I can make a lot more, but give some back. I'll just reset. It's still early in the week. Come back Wednesday or Tuesday PM session. But anyways, gold, clearly there's been sellers in this area pushing the market down time and time again. Okay, and if we look here to start the week, we're in this area. We got a strong rejection. In my opinion, that was the big players, the big sellers, showing their hand, showing we're here. We got a little move up into this area again. We actually did a liquidity sweep inside of this area and then had another strong reaction. So in my opinion, to start the week, this was the big sellers getting into their position and reloading. Like this was get into the position, do a liquidity sweep, get more liquidity, and then reload on their sell position. And then we saw that move down throughout the New York hours and then into the PM, which is where I am here. Okay, you can see now we're in a bearish structure as well. We put in a lower high, lower low, and then we start forming this lower high. Right, we start forming another lower high potentially, rejecting off of these also like old support areas. Now it could be resistance, so we put in a lower high, lower low. I think we're bearish. We have objectives to the downside, big pivot levels that are going to act as liquidity, draws on liquidity. So yeah, we start putting in that lower high on gold. I'm thinking this is what I think is going to happen. I'm envisioning the lower high completing, pushing down, taking out this low. Okay, so right when I see this, I'm seeing like, okay, this could also be a potential like 1 hour bear flag, which it did end up being that. But just this overall area right here, I started to see, lower high, potential high time frame bear flag. Okay, and then I get in on the lower time frames. So 15-minute was in a bearish structure. The 5-minute though was kind of bullish. I like to see all the time frames align, right? So the 5-minute did have a little shift up into this area. Let me turn all my brightness is up, or whatever. But 5-minute, so right here is where like that 1 hour time frame was starting to put in that wick and starting to get rejected to potentially put in the lower high. And right around here, we see we had a little shift on the 5-minute, put in a lower high like this, went on to make a lower low. And as we're shifting to the downside on the 5-minute time frame, I see this like nice little textbook bear flag. Get this kind of weak little push up, some wicks, strong close right there. Okay, so my initial entry, I got in right here on the flag with the confluence of, hey, the 5-minute just shifted bearish, had a little bearish shift with a nice bearish flag, with the 1 hour already bearish, and now confirming that we're putting in a higher low, and even forming a nice little like 1 hour bear flag with targets to the downside. So yeah, I let that 5-minute do its thing, had the little shifts, little lower low, lower high. And that's where I took the beginning of my position. I took like 80% right there. Or like, no, I was using micros. I got him with like 7 micros right here with my stop up here just for a little more breathing room. Because price could technically come up to here if I had my stop here. Could come up to here and the sellers short, could just reload at these wicks, So I had my stop there, but then we had a move up. We had this quick push up. I scaled in with 3 more micros like right up in this area. And then we got rejected hard right there. Oh fuck. We got rejected hard right here. So then I tightened my stop to right here. So my entry got moved up a little bit. Somewhere like in here. And then after we closed out of this candle, after we closed down there, I was like, okay, I'm confident it's not going to come back up. We're going to see the move down, so I'm going to tighten my stop, put it right there. So then it allowed my risk to reward to be really good. Really good, dude. My voice keeps cracking. It was hard. All right, but yeah, and then we just saw the move down into this recent low, which is all I was targeting for at this point because it was great risk to reward. And then you also, say you missed the trade, another perfect little flag presented itself. Little weak move up there, and then look at that rejection candle. Boom. Perfect little bear flag. Short that. So yeah, I took profit right at these lows, right on a push through there. But it did go on to hit the final objective eventually, I think. Oh, no, now it did, yeah, but good thing I didn't hold down to there last night because I would have been stopped out. And you don't need to chase a giant. Your risk reward is already good enough. 3 to 1, I don't need to chase like a 10 to 1 risk reward. So that was that trade. Just following the high time frame kind of structure, the flow, getting in on a nice flag, lower high, push down. Okay, that was that trade. Something very similar on NQ. Let me show you the NQ trade. I took 2 NQ trades. Same kind of story, honestly. We had bearish momentum. We're kind of in this range to start the week. In this range, but to start the week, we got rejected from the top of the range and started moving down. Put in like a lower high during the intraday, the New York Stock Exchange session, and then had that move down into the PM session. Okay, so same thing. I'm thinking we're in this range. We got rejected up here, had a shift. We're probably going to come touch or test the bottom of the range at least, or blow through it, collecting all the liquidity. So yeah, it's just looking at this 1 hour time frame, I can just so clearly see like the way the market wants to move. Like how is it not going to, after this action here in the lower high and the strong move down with the good volume, I could just see it coming down, taking out these lows, starting a big trend to the downside, or testing it and bouncing off of that. But it's just so clear, like following the order flow, you could just see what was likely to happen. So yeah, basically at this point, I'm just looking for flags or market shifts to take it down into those lows. Right here was the perfect ideal trade. I just missed it. I was not on the charts at this point. I mean, look at this. We're bearish. We have all our bearish confluence, whatever, right? Then we break through this old support level, retest it as resistance, form a beautiful textbook little bear flag on this candle right here. It would have just been a nice, the risk reward would have been amazing. Went straight down, 0 drawdown. I usually don't get on till like 10 o'clock though, Eastern time when I'm trading the PM. I feel like 10 p.m. is when the volatility starts to pick up for the most part. Not today. Today was just flush straight down. I missed a really good, like if I just got in here, that would have been perfect. Great risk to reward, we would have let it run. But basically, yeah, so I'm still looking for shorts down into these levels. If we get flags before more continuation, that's what I'm looking to do, and that's what we got. So with everything on the other time frame, I just am expecting a push down into these levels because there's a lot of liquidity resting there, and they're just levels that price is going to be attracted to because big pivot levels, buyers sitting there, that sort of thing. So I was just waiting for another flag right here. So this was actually kind of a risky trade, but it kind of balanced out because my confluence to the downside was so strong, but the entry was sort of a little too risky for my liking. But because I had a tight stop, I just risked it anyways. We had this, as soon as we started to have this little green move up, I was anticipating that we were gonna have a bearish candle, form a flag, and get that move down, right? Because I was very confident in my bearish confluence to hit these objectives. So as soon as we're making these levels, these candles up, I'm like already anticipating this is what's gonna happen. We're gonna get a red close, bear flag, and we're gonna short down to here. So this candle I got in on. No, I didn't. That's a lie. I got in on this candle right here, but still, this doesn't really look like a good, strong bear flag because these red candles are just kind of weak. But with that being said, like, I did have an opportunity to have a really tight stop loss, and I was confident in the move to the downside. You know, it was kind of just like a risky trade, something that I would say is not an A+ trade, but because my bias was so strong, I was willing to get in on these candles here, even though they're not the textbook like engulfing candle that you want to see in a flag. But I was just really confident, so I got in there. We had a quick little flush down. Initially I was going to hold all the way down to here, but I just didn't like the way that things started to act. Like, let me move this. Like, this candle got a big wick up. Thought we were going to reverse, you know, the big, like, it got bought up, the 5-minute candle. And then this one was good, but then that one got bought up a little. I was going to wait for a big flush. But then this one got bought up again. I was like, okay, a little bit of green volumes come in. We're getting these big wicks to the downside. I'm just going to close out here. Close out for like $1,000. $1,000. Yeah, closed out for like $1,000. Bringing me to like 2,600 on the day or so. And then this last little trade here, same confluence, everything. We're right dang close to these objectives, to these lows. And now let me just get in a high quality little short, do my voice. Oh my god, it's fucking squeaking. But yeah, once again, nice little flag. This is a much better flag. Just got in short here, quick little 1-to-1. Take it down to this low. You never know if you're gonna hit the low in reverse. In hindsight, you know, this is what brought me to like 3,000. This little 1-to-1. In hindsight, you know, a lot of bearish momentum, a lot of more room to the downside. In hindsight, you know, fucking A, like, in hindsight, you know, fucking A, I could have made fucking like $8,000 on the fucking day, dude. In hindsight, you know, that would have been, I should have just closed my eyes and fucking went on. But, you know, it's about securing profits over here. So yeah, I made another couple hundred from that little move. I mean, even just like waiting for one more 5-minute candle would have done me great. But yeah, guys, that's the video. The confluence is the narrative, and the confluence and the thesis is the most important part. A lot of selling volume into some clear pivot areas that the price wants to target. Look for a little price action entry to flush down. And yeah, guys, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for the channel. Subscribe and whatnot. Alright, give it a like. We'll be back soon.